This is your human impact on Earth's resources reading number 1. This is the human impact on land resources. Mining for resources. Many of the raw materials that you use come from under the surface of Earth. To access these resources for human use, they must be extracted through one of many mining techniques. Mines can be found throughout the United States, as seen on the map below. Coal is mined in the Appalachians and the Rockies. Ores containing precious metals, such as silver and gold, and non-precious metals are mined throughout the western states. You can see in this map locations of various types of mines, non-precious metal mines, precious metal mines, and coal mines and facilities. Effects of mining. Mining techniques can have a significant impact on Earth's surface. Modern societies require huge amounts of land resources, including iron, aluminum, copper, sand, gravel, and limestone. Unfortunately, the extraction of these resources often disturbs large areas of Earth's surface, as shown in the photo. Groundwater can become polluted, natural habitats can be disturbed or destroyed, and air quality can suffer. Finding a balance between the need for mineral resources and controlling the environmental change caused by extraction can be difficult. But scientists, in conjunction with mining companies, have created ways to reduce the impact of mining on the environment. Surface mining. Mines that are used to remove materials from the ground surface destroy the original ground shape. Open pit mines can leave behind waste rock, shown in the photo, that can weather over time. The extraction of mineral ores often involves grinding parent rock to separate the ore. The material left after the ore is extracted might release toxic elements such as mercury and arsenic into the groundwater or surface water. These materials can form acids as they weather and pollute the environment. Mountaintop removal. In mountaintop removal mining, entire layers of earth are removed from the top of a mountain to access the resources underneath. Mountaintop removal has the advantage of making access to the resources easier, but it can have serious impacts on the surrounding environment. The removal of large amounts of vegetation and a significant change to topography can disrupt the local ecosystem. Underground mining. Underground mining is used where mineral resources lie deep under the ground. Underground mining is less disruptive to the land surface than surface mining, but it still impacts the environment. For example, although underground mines cannot be seen, the mountains of waste rock dug from under the ground are stockpiled on the surface. The water in the photograph is orange because precipitation seeps through the mine waste piles and causes a decrease in pH, dissolving many harmful metals in the waste. When the runoff from the piles reaches the stream, which has a higher pH, the higher pH causes the metals to come out of solution and discolor the water. Aquatic plants and animals can also be affected by runoff. Although many mining companies build large holding ponds to contain polluted water until it can be treated, these ponds sometimes leak. Pause and go answer question number 1 in your science notebook. Agricultural practices. Vegetation, including agricultural crops, needs the nutrients from topsoil to grow. It can take thousands of years for topsoil to form. Thus, once it is lost, it is hard to replace. Whenever fields are plowed and the plants whose roots hold the soil in place are removed, topsoil can be eroded by wind and water, and nutrients can be lost. The addition of fertilizers can help replace some of the nutrients, but there are other substances in topsoil that fertilizers cannot provide. Contour farming. Contour farming is often done on hillsides or other areas prone to erosion. Farmers plant crops with the contour of the earth, slowing the flow of runoff and helping to prevent erosion. This farm uses contour farming. The different colored bands are actually due to 2 different crops, alfalfa and corn. No-till farming. Farmers leave the unused portion of the crops in the field instead of plowing them under each year. In this image, the crop from the previous year was corn. After the harvest, the stalks were left on the field to prevent erosion and maintain topsoil. Crop rotation. Crop rotation involves planting different crops in succession. For instance, a farmer might plant alfalfa in a field one year, followed by corn the next year, and winter wheat the following year. Crop rotation helps to maintain the soil's nutrient balance and also helps to reduce the number of crop-specific pests. Pause and go answer question number 2 in your science notebook. Effects of pesticides and fertilizers. Chemicals applied to farm fields to control weeds, insects, and fungi are called pesticides. Pesticides have played an important role in boosting food production worldwide by eliminating or controlling organisms that destroy crops. However, some pesticides remain and can potentially harm the environment for long periods of time. Pesticides can slowly accumulate in organisms higher on the food chain, such as fishes and birds. Some pesticides also kill beneficial insect predators along with the targeted destructive insects. When pesticides kill decomposers, such as worms, the overall fertility of topsoil deteriorates. Insects can develop resistance to an insecticide, causing some farmers to use ever-increasing amounts to control pests. Further problems can be created when wind and rain carry pesticides away from farm fields and cause pollution in nearby waterways. Fertilizers are substances that provide nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphate, and potassium to crops. Like pesticides, fertilizers can get into water supplies and build up in the soil. Some fertilizer components can be toxic to local organisms. Preventing pollution. Some of the most dangerous chemicals, such as the pesticide DDT, are no longer in general use. But pesticides and fertilizers are critical to maintaining our food supply, so it is not feasible to stop using them entirely. It is therefore important to mitigate their effects on the environment. For example, fertilizers can cause solid soil to become acidic. To restore the soil to its proper level of acidity, a basic material such as chalk or limestone is added to the soil. This process is called liming. Keeping the water supply safe is also important. Barriers, such as the filter strips shown in the photo, can reduce pesticide and fertilizer runoff from nearby crops. The vegetation in the strips helps to slow runoff water. Pause and go answer question number 3 in your science notebook. Solid waste. Each person in the United States generates an average of 2.0 kilograms of solid waste per day. Where does it all go? Much of it is buried in landfills. The pie graph shows the percentages and types of materials that were disposed of in landfills in the United States in 2013. 2013 total waste generation, 254 million metric tons before recycling. Paper was 27%, yard trimmings 13.5%, food scraps 14.6%, plastics 12.8%, metals 9.1%, rubber, leather, and textiles 9%, glass 4.5%, wood 6.2%, other 3.3%. Improper disposal of wastes can result in contamination of land and water resources. Heavy metals such as lead and mercury and poisonous chemicals such as arsenic are byproducts of many industrial processes and can pollute the soil and groundwater. Some of this type of contamination has been caused by industries that operated before the dangers of improper waste disposal were known. Waste disposal remains a problem because of the immense volume of trash humans produce. Modern landfills are carefully designed to minimize leakage of toxic liquids. Impermeable clay or plastic layers are placed beneath a landfill, and trash is compacted by machines and buried under a layer of dirt to reduce volume and eliminate wind-blown trash. Vents in landfills release methane and other gases that are generated as the garbage decomposes. The pipes shown allow the gases to escape and not become trapped underground. Pause and go answer question number 4 in your science notebook. That is it for this reading activity.